And what is going on YouTube? Another game channel, bringing you just another video. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I am recording one of the new Osiris DLC strikes. I think this is Titan gameplay. Now I was just doing a couple of heroic strikes with a friend, and this popped up, and I've done heroic strikes all week. Now I know they're releasing two, so all I can assume is that this is the second one they released with today's with the update on the 12th, which was yesterday. That's the only reason, because I've not played this before the 12th. Does anyone else agree or disagree? Is this one of the recent with the patches and the updates? We all know that masterclass weapons have come out. I've had masterclass weapons drop, but I'm curious. How do you get the masterclass components? I assume that would be by what? Deleting masterclass weapons? Is that how that works? Does anyone know this? To date, I've only had one rocket launcher drop. There are lots of new cosmetics and quality of life improvements, as you're aware. There are also some new type of well, I'll tell you what, let old Ghosty finish talking before I continue.
In the forest, time itself is in flux.
I don't like it.
That way you can get a little bit of context for the story. But yeah, so there's new, I guess, equivalent of fire team medallions. There's a boon you can buy that will allow you to get a Vanguard item every single time you do a strike. Everyone in play gets it, but you can't have any other bonuses active. So no fighting medallion, for example. Then there are other ones that grant specific Eververse items when you do strikes, or guaranteed Eververse items when you do Crucible matches. And so it's quite interesting. They're very expensive. They're like, I don't know, are they like 600-800 Glimmer a pop? Luckily I had over not Glimmer, sorry, bright dust. Luckily I had over 10,000 bright dust, and that's mainly from I bought one pack of silver, but other than that, I've just played so many hours and got so many silver engram, illuminated engrams, etc., bright engrams, that I've just accumulated a lot of, and most things that I get I delete anyway. So there's a lot of shaders that I keep going through and deleting at the moment that I'm never going to use, but they give you bright dust back. Never had to do that with shaders before because I've always had enough. But yeah, this is the usual fight through. It's not that usual. Okay, so you've got the Infinite Forest part, but as you know, the Infinite Forest is not procedurally generated, it's semi-procedurally generated. But these bits to me look like I've never seen them before. I could be totally wrong and I've just been so immersed in combat that I've never seen like these arc things before. But I do know that later on you'll see part of the strike that it turns into from the campaign. Now Bungie did say that actually you will play the strikes in the campaign, and what they tend to do is isolate those missions and modify them slightly so that it can be played as one-off heroic strikes. It's relatively challenging. It's not too challenging when you're starting these strikes at 3.0. If you start them when you're 3.05, I think the minimum requirement's like 270, is it? I think. You think, oh yeah, I'm 30 levels above, and yeah, normally I think that, but you'd be surprised how quickly sometimes you can, if enough enemies are there, they can just overwhelm you quickly. Now, spoiler alert, if you don't want spoilers on how well I do on this boss, turn away now. Yeah, we die a couple of times. I think we have 3 or 4 attempts at the boss. Now, for me personally, it wasn't the fact that enemies in the boss was killing me. He just, when he does a stomp, he can knock you flying, and he kept knocking me off the map. Unfortunately, that was my issue. I think when that first happened, the other two guys down, and I was the last one, and it was almost dead. He was so close to dead, and then I went down as well. So yeah, bad times. And unfortunately, I think like one of the guys dead, my friend's fine, but one of the guys we played with didn't seem to. He's not a bad player by all means, but like as soon as two players go down, he just wasn't competent enough to realise the situation essentially. So yeah, good times. But I'm generally happy about what's. I mean, I've not explored it. I got the update straight away. Like at the moment it could be playable, I played it, and so I'm still kind of at odds of what's actually happening. So the Master Core weapon components that you get, you need 10 to upgrade into a Master Class weapon, and I don't know where you get those from. And like I said, if anyone knows, after this video I'm going to go research, but if anyone does actually know, by all means please let me know, because I would love to, there's certain weapons I'd love to convert into Masterclass, you know, get extra reload, agility, whatever, count number on how many bad guys I've killed. That'd be awesome, freaking awesome. But yeah, if anyone knows that at the time of the video, let me know, guys. I will be researching. I think everyone's had enough time to go and explore that right now. Oh my god, I'm still waiting. Oh, I can't wait for Death Stranding, guys. Oh my god, go watch that. And like I said, for people that don't know, the guy who's creating Death Stranding is the guy who created Metal Gear Solid. You know, he got kicked from Konami. What's his name? Oh god, I know his name at any other time, and now I need it. I don't know it. Kojima? No, it might be Kojima. Yeah, could be Kojima. But anyway, yeah, his new game Death Stranding looks phenomenal. It looks multi-dimensional, alien, perhaps both. My brother thinks it's the dimension of death that's collided with the dimension that I live in, and this is how all the universe is supposed to end. Some might think alien invasion, some might think invasion through dimensional beings. Some might think that it's our fault, CERN technology and experimenting, breaking apart the boundaries, and but that game looks unbelievable. And spoiler alert, the moment, if you've seen the trailer, the moment where one of the big beings that you see there explodes, that's where he actually dies there. But in this world of death and non-death meeting each other, death is not the end. So when he dies, he goes to that ocean-like, underwater type reality, and apparently while you're in there you can pickpocket people and collect resources that you might need to survive when you return. And apparently you get marked when you die, so if you notice on the trailer, there's a tiny little mark, there's two black marks appear on his chest, as if it's to mark that he's one of the returned, or is one of the visitors to that, you know, realm. I don't know, maybe the more you visit death in the game, the more creatures leave you alone. I don't know. It could mean anything. It's really fascinating though. Well, it's one of the most fascinating games to come out in a long time. I've still got 1,000,001 games to finish, guys. I bought, well, there's the Destiny 2 stuff, the Nier Automata, which won multiple awards, thank God. Death Stranding, I can't wait for that. That's actually using the same, basically, the creator of the game, Metal Gear Solid games, and now Death Stranding. He's gone around. He basically visited every major or minor game studio in the world he was interested in, possibly collaborating with, and he ended up with Guerrilla Games, the people that brought you Horizon Zero Dawn. He said he was so impressed with their engine on the game mechanics and the detailed and beautiful look of Aloy's world that he wanted to use that. And I might have already mentioned this in one of my last videos, but they actually presented him with a small wooden box as a gift, and it had all the source code to the engine, and they said, look, we're so humbled and honoured that you would choose our studio. We think we've got a great studio, and clearly you do. We would love to work with you, or allow you to work with us to use our engine. Now, usually the companies would be salivating over fines and fees and bonuses, and all this company did was give him a small box with the source code to it and says, you can use our engine for free. The only stipulation is, if you make any changes, let us know what those changes are, in case they might cause problems for us later down the line. And if you develop any new innovations within the code, that allows the game engine to evolve in such a way that it improves it. Please, can we also share and use it in future games? And he's like, yeah, he says, this is a dream come true. I can't believe the offer. And so there are good companies out there, guys. CD Projekt Red, Guerrilla Games. I actually don't know who. Well, the thing is, Guerrilla Games. Yeah, I think, did Guerrilla Games release Horizon Zero Dawn on their own, or is that Sony as their publisher? Sony, I don't know. But it seems like CD Projekt Red, they were their own developer, design team, and publishers, and that's why they did so well, because they didn't have to answer to any of the corporate bullshit that's floating around there, which I think's generally pretty great. And yeah, I just think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the gaming industry right now. And let's get back to the strike, though. So we're heading down. This is the bit I couldn't remember this from. I remember it from the game now, but I couldn't remember this bit from the game. And I'm so glad I brought my Titan. I managed to get a rocket launcher that allowed me to bump my ward of coil up to like 320 whatever. Because I've been stuck with using like a 320 whatever sword for a long time, and you know how you're forced to use the highest level stuff to level up, basically. Well, I'm starting to get those things and spread the love, basically, which is great. I'd be curious to see what Azur's selling this week. I'd be curious to see what people. I've not really done Crucible. Obviously I've got the Prometheus lens, but the only really way to play it would be to play it with that, because you know everyone else is going to be. And so the problem I have is, well, I don't want to be that guy that just going around insta-mowing everyone. But I understand why they gave the Prometheus lens to Zero. It's because of this bug, and they're like, look, people they're getting just destroyed in multiplayer. So, like, if everyone's got a chance to own it, then not everyone, there's no clear advantage to anyone anymore, and the process in which people get mowed over is equal. So, while it might change the meta of that gameplay for that week or so until they fix it, that's fine. My only concern is that, okay, in PvE, it performs pretty well, but it's not a super weapon compared to in Crucible. Now, I hope whatever changes they make doesn't diminish it in Crucible, in PvE, because that would be a real shame. It's a very nice weapon to use. Plus, I've got the skins for it, baby. I seem to always get lucky getting the skins for stuff. So some dude commented on my silver video. I bought £40 worth of silver. I've done it several times for year one, just for the videos, really. And he's like, "Oh, you're the reason why Bungie has microtransactions." Oh yeah. I did. Well, I'll tell you what I said to him, but he's like, "You're the reason," and I'm like, "Well," and I was like, "Wow, God, I'm the reason. That's amazing. I didn't realise it were only me." If only I knew. I'm the reason, but it's got 444 views right now. Pretty interesting. So his comment is comment about how you're the reason there is microtransactions. Okay, his grammar, syntax and punctuation is pretty bad, but other than that, never mind. Sorry, I've just sorry about the muting of the audio there, guys. It was an accident. But because when I opened up my YouTube, it starts playing comments automatically, starts playing the video automatically. So yeah. But what I replied with was, if that were true, I'm flattered. All this uproar for little old person me, little old me. Damn it! I knew they'd find out. I spent 19 billion alone just on transactions. I was hoping to remain nameless. No reply, of course. I mean, I don't think it's fair. I buy these for two reasons. One, yeah, I want stuff like other people, but I'm at a double-edged sword because I'd rather them not be cosmetic. However, I don't want them affecting progression and giving people
So, where's this Valis?
massive advantages.
Wait for it.
That's my problem with Eververse. Like, the reason I don't want them cosmetic is well, yeah, cosmetic's cool, but when you're paying this much money for stuff, don't you want a really good ability or weapon? Of course you do. Of course you do. You want to feel like you've bought something really worthwhile. But I understand why we really shouldn't do that, and that's because of well, it gives other people that can't afford it an unfair disadvantage, and I absolutely agree with that. So yeah, thanks to Darlatan, who's not impressed that I did a silver video. I've been doing these all year. For me personally, the silver videos are about I like to get the full sets of armor for the video, but it's not an issue of addiction for me. As soon as I've got what I need, I don't buy them again anymore. In fact, I bought that one full set of silver, £40 worth, and normally I buy one set for each character, or I'll buy several sets and then keep going until I get the full sets of armor, the specialized sets of armor from each one. But I'm not gonna do that. The first one was so disappointing. I did get a cool exotic drop the mic, swooping brush. I did get some cool exotic shells, some really nice transmat effects. I transmat like the Cryptar, like Osiris. Jesus, I can transmat like him. When I die, I teleport in and shake and teleport all over. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I was a bit frustrated about that comment. I mean, that's just lack of knowledge and information about this situation. It's a personal opinion. Everyone's entitled to them, even if they're, you know, slightly asinine. Anyway, so let's get back to it. So finally, I'm not stuck using a sword, which is very frustrating when the enemy's like the main Vex baddie, Nessus, or like what is his name? Nephilim. No, that's half angel, half demon, half angel, half human, whichever law you're looking at. But yeah, so that's the Traveller one. But basically, yeah, I generally don't think I'm the problem. There's transactions. It's the fact that in PC gaming alone, 19 billion was made last year, and that's not including consoles. And 19 billion, where games don't make that much generally. No, that's not true. Not even close, actually. What I'm talking about. They can make a lot of money, but now it's the game now it seems like the game's designed as merely a vehicle, a vehicle for delivery of this other service, these microtransactions. And now that the game industry have locked on to, wow, we can make 5, 6, 10, 20, 50 times the amount that our game made us several £100 million in profit. Well, that's not enough. 19 billion pounds is better. You know what I mean? Like, of course it is. So yeah, dropping on the boss fight, me straight down there in lasers. Not cool, bro. Not cool. So I was unsure because I still couldn't remember this fight at the time. When we do finally beat him on the third attempt, we don't worry, we start the fight from here, I think. When we beat him on the third attempt, I didn't even get to use my Titan Slam. Because I thought, you know what, I'll swap it out for 2 grenades. That's right. That was a bad idea. Look how nearly dead he is, and we get nearly totally destroying. Just saying. Look at this. I think everyone dies, and then. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Why didn't I not get him? Oh, I am. Look at that, straight off the map. Oh. I should have not tried to revive him. I don't think it did. It work? No, it didn't work. Yeah. Plus, I was getting shot. Does that count when you're getting shot? Can't you revive? Is that what stopped me? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, good times, ladies and gentlemen. Very good times. So, what do you guys think about this? I think this is a good strike. I think this is a good strike personally. I like the setting. I like the sandbox or skybox design. I think it's quite interesting.
Where's this Valis?
I like the fact. Look at this Vex. Like, it's like, and then this nuclear ball just jumps in and destroys it. Takes them out as if it's nothing. It's like, I am pure. So what I thought it was when we first did this, I wasn't really paying attention. I thought it was a cabal consumed by Vex, which I thought would have been cooler. Or they'd captured a Vex and experimented on it, so it became part. It was like that yellow core. He was part of that, and he had like a head inside a head and inside the body, and then the big metal Vex extremities. That would have been cool. And then this like little stubby, chumpy cabal jumps in. Who's obviously been eating too much. Destroys like a gatekeeper. Are you kidding me? No one jumps on top of a gatekeeper and squish. Do they? I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, anyway, doodle-doo. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's amazing how still so many people do not think gaming is a bad thing, it's a childish thing, and I attribute that to historical context and preconceptions based on the terminology used. So a gaming unit, the PlayStation. I mean, do these people wince when and I think it's childish when they go to see the opera? Or go and see a favourite band. I mean, the music now in games, I mean, we're talking Hollywood level or orchestral, the highest level of orchestral, where in the world is higher. You know, from the school of Juilliard and all this, the best schools of orchestra, the best schools of rock, some of the best voice actors in movie and television and theatre are brought in to do this work because even they realise what a massive industry is and what an amazing opportunity to create a world, a totally new world, and it can be anything you want it can be. And I've for years I've been like I guess I have been studying theoretical physics and cosmology and astronomy, dark matter, black holes, the birth of the universe, and all those many things. But only recently I've decided to myself, you know what, I was looking through about 30 different books last night on Amazon on the best way to start to introduce me to theoretical physics and all these other areas. I found a work of complete collections that's recommended, but I've got a feeling it's going to be £300-400 or dollars. I know how expensive books are. I own about 400 books. I thought it was about 300, but I had a little count and I way past 300. Plus, I've got stored digitally and printed 4,000 to 5,000 published papers. And I've published papers, and you think of them, and another way to think of them are as essays, but they are by no means the essay which you might conjure. If you've never published or you're not a writer, there's no way when I say essay, that you can understand actually the size of the document. It is a peer-reviewed, critically informed, well-researched. Well, to say essay would be somewhat naive and inaccurate. It really is a thesis, not quite on the size of a PhD thesis, but like I said, some introductions to my essays are 6,000 words long. Introductions that are designed to introduce everything from the subject area, the contextual framework, why it's important, the need for it, if there's a need for it at all. Other people in this field of research and things like that. And so I've read a lot, and I know how expensive books are. And again, some of these books are like a starting price of about £75. That's probably, I don't know the current exchange rate, but I'm guessing it's always floating around double. So £75 here would be $150 there. So something like that. It would be a pretty close representation of the translation there. that's why I corrected a few. Well, I didn't correct. I just put correctional comments in a few areas of things that I've been watching recently, because people. So channel called Critical Gaming commented. I'm sure maybe I'm wrong, but they said something like, you know, it's a £17 DLC for Destiny, which I think is about $20. No, it's closer to 40. I don't think it, you know, and because I think it was what was the DLC? It was £20 for us, and if you guys did get, if we use a financial translation for that, it would be about $40. But if you got it for $20, that means you got it for about less than £10 maybe. Now, what America don't realise, they pay $60 for their games. Well, so do we, but we don't pay $60. We pay almost £60. We pay double what you pay for your games, and I think maybe that's why. When people try and defend microtransactions, when I think there's a way for them to be implemented, but from a business standpoint, definitely not. Cost of games, cost of making games has gone up, and the cost of games stayed the same. Well, it hasn't, but it's gone up dribs and drabs, just slowly enough so we haven't really noticed it. But in no way does an American consumer pay the same as a British one. British people pay far more for a game, far more for a game. Than an American consumer, based on conversion rates of dollar and the English pound, and English sterling. So I think probably that's why studios have managed to keep the charging exorbitant amounts for games. But they've found a way to wriggle into that. Not only are the microtransactions, there's season passes, extra DLC content. There's all sorts of other paywalls that they can implement to make money, and it's a real shame. But yeah, we pay almost double for what America pays for their games, and I think that's why the industry has been able to maintain whatever you know. Particularly in the Destiny Community podcast, they seem to favour this a great deal, and this model of this is why and it's acceptable. But I think even if that's true, which it couldn't further be from the truth, I think even if people were charged an extra £10 for the game, and that included all the DLC, instead of it being cut and made DLC, if they got the full complete experience and it got rid of microtransactions, that'd be great. And I think one way to do it is what Warframe does. It's not RNG, guys. Don't do RNG. I know you get way more money spent when it's not, but don't be so greedy. You guys make more, several hundred million or several billion. Not enough. No, it's not. No, I can't. It's not quite enough to live off. I've got child support, so I need obviously 8 billion, not 680 million. It's beyond my ability to comprehend it, and I assure you I am not an unintelligent person, so I don't know how people can come to that mindset. And I do really. It's not just that. There's personal challenges, the next challenge in the world to beat your own personal goals, to beat those. I understand it, but still, there's no need for. If you want to put I'm all for microtransactions in games, but do it so you can buy actual items that will benefit the game, like the beast in best off weapons and armor sets. But buy them so you can buy the sets, like in Dead Space 3. You bought the weapon pots, but weapons, but the suits that you liked, you could just buy the suit. And I loved the unitology suit, the modern military suit, the colonized military suit, which were like 200 years from past. I thought they were fantastic. And guys, if anyone knows how to start a petition to revive the Dead Space franchise, please, by all means, let me know. God, I died a lot in this. This was the first time I've done it, and I was a bit like, oh god, yeah, well, whatever, it's cool. This was my lowest level character at the time. That's why it was probably a little bit tough from me. I just switched over to my hunter, and Zed, I'm like, revive me. He's like, where are you? I'm like, dude, I'm right next to you. He couldn't see me, bless him. He couldn't see me. Right, I need to get out of here again. Get down into here. Oh, damn it. Here we go. Some work on these jumps. I feel like they've given the hammers, the tree that doesn't create this and stuff. I think like they've given themselves a few more hammers to throw, and it desperately needed it because, you know, I could on average get around 4 off, and I think it's closer to 6 now. I think that's much more. I think that's better. It's not over the top by any means. It's just a nice number for bosses, for enemies, for ads, whatever. Try and punch him to there. We got him anyway, guys. So there you go. Pretty. I mean, now that I've done this again, now that I'm like 320, and now we know exactly how to tackle the boss, not get too close to that slam that almost always knocks you off the walls. We know how to do it. So guys, yeah, that's it really. I started putting that second strikes. It must have come out on the 12th because I'd not seen it until then. So guys, thank you for everyone that watches. Sorry, I rambled on about various stuff there, but hey, why not? I didn't have time to set up the record the audio. It was a strike I wasn't expecting, and boom, there it is. So again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you all on the next one. So cheers.